I don't know that. And tonight, let's enjoy life. Pitbull, Nadia.
Hello, South Africa. How are you doing today? Woo! Great to be here. I'm going to start right off with you guys with a riddle. What do you get if you put a left brain individual and a right brain individual together into one global marketeer? You get a Brandalytical. Today I'm going to share with you the power of the Brandalytical formula. And this is relevant for each and every one of you because either you have a brand or you are your brand. So it doesn't matter whether you're in B2B, B2C, what industry you're working in, whether you're corporate or a startup, because each and every one of you has a brand. I'm Nadia Boersch. I'm a global marketeer, speaker, and mentor. I've been working for some global brands such as Nestle, Purina, the pet care division, Philip Morris, brands such as Marlboro, Chesterfield, or Philip Morris. And right now, I'm working for a teeny tiny startup that you might have heard of called Uber. It's doing very well in South Africa, by the way, so kudos to you guys. And so it's my mission, because branding, really, all of you can brand like the global branding companies who are experts at it. And it's my mission to make that possible for everyone who wants to do that. So what is Brandalytical? What does that even mean? I'm a Brandalytical, whoopsie, and that means I've got a little creative person sitting on my right shoulder and a little analytical person sitting on my left shoulder, and they're in a constant quarrel with one another. So my creative side would come up with all these kinds of ideas and imagine it all the way up. What is the big picture? How would this roll out in a great campaign? And at the same time, my analytical side would just bombard it and go like, this is not going to work. How are you going to find the resources for this? Is it the right target group? So at the end of the day, when I come up with a marketing strategy or a brand strategy, I would have already figured all of this out. And this is why most of the strategies that I've created have been very successful and implemented globally. So before I continue to get you into the Brandalytical formula, I would like to take you for a teeny tiny journey. Close your eyes for just a second. No worries, I'm not going to send any burglars through, so just trust me on this. Close your eyes and think about the hottest love affair you have ever had. And imagine, I can see some guys smiling. That's good, that's good. So, what were you? Who are you with? And I hope it's your significant other from today. I don't want to get into any trouble here. And most importantly, what did you feel like? So before you wander off, please open your eyes again and consider with this power that you just felt, imagine you could use this for your brand, right? So the essence of the Brandalytical formula is to treat your brand like the hottest love affair you guys have ever experienced. Because what will happen is your customers will follow you, and ultimately, this will create success for your brand. So, are you ready for me to share the Brandalytical formula with you? Yes. Guys, I can't hear you. Are you ready? Yes. Okay, here it is. And I'd like you to get your phones out because you're going to have to use this every single day. Make sure you have it on your phone, note it on your phone, check it out every day when you have your morning coffee and check out what you're doing for your brand on that day. So it's 2P plus 2E plus 2A equals success, performance, and growth. So let's start out with the first P, your partner. Now you have to know your partner really well. Right? Right? You have to know their visions, their values, what their dreams are. And the same thing is true for your brand and your customers. So working at Uber, and by the way, before I get into this, who here thinks that the customers at Uber are the riders, the people that get into the car? Hands up? Okay. Who here thinks it's the drivers? And who thinks it's both? Ah, you're right. So at Uber, we're obsessed, and I mean obsessed, with our customers. So that's riders and drivers. And what that means for me in my everyday job is I make sure that I speak to one rider and one driver each day to make sure I know what their values are, what's important to them, so that I can deliver on that, right? So what you need to do with your brands is to find out what it is your customers want and deliver on that every single day. Treat them like your partner. So now that we've spoken about your partner, let's move on to the next P. And what could that be in a love affair? Passion. Now you want to make sure you've got butterflies in your stomach when you're with your significant other, right? Because if you don't have any feelings, you're just friends, right? So for your brands, I can tell you a little story. I used to work for Nestle, their pet care division called Purina, and their slogan is, "Your pet, our passion." And that really resonated with me because I'm a complete animal freak. And so I would go out, and apart from creating marketing messages and all of the other stuff you do as a marketeer, I would convince every single person that would listen to me for just 2 seconds who had an animal on the street to buy this food, because I was absolutely convinced that this was the best pet food that was out there. And so at the end of the day, this meant I had a significant impact on the market share and on the growth of the brand, because I was obsessed with my brand. I was super passionate about what it is that I did. And by the way, if you're not passionate about your brands, you have to reconsider what you're doing. Because if you're not passionate, I can promise you it won't work. So now that we've wrapped up partner and passion, let's move on to our 2 E's. The first E is experience. In your love affair, when you go on a hot date, imagine going on this date. Hot air balloon, picnic basket, watch the sunset. Is that a cool date? Yeah, right? So you've got to create an experience for your customers. And so I have a question for you. Who here thinks it's a great experience to go to their dentist? Okay, I thought at least 1 or 2 of you had like hot dentists, but okay, none of you, that's great. Builds up on my star even better. So I had a lady come to me, she was 62 years old, and she said, "I want to create an experience for my patients." And I was like, so how's that gonna work out? So we looked at it, and her name was Siri, you know, like the iPhone Siri that helps you out. So I called her Dr. Siri, and it made her so much more approachable. And the other thing we did is we played along with colors and some messaging, and all of a sudden, her sales went up, because what happened was that the word of mouth that was generated through this, it was so big that all of her patients would recommend other patients, so her sales went up. And so that's why it's so important for you guys with your brands, deliver an experience. Do something that goes the extra mile. So next E is excitement. If it shows up, yes. So what is better in your dating or your love affair or your relationship or your marriage, whatever it is? To have an unexpected gift or an expected gift? Ooh, that's interesting. Right, so an expected gift is great, right? But if once in a while, just on any ordinary Tuesday evening, somebody comes home with a gift, that's really great, right? So do the same thing for your brand. Create something exciting, something unexpected. When I was working for Nestle Purina, we had the honor of sponsoring the World Dog Show. And so what I did is I wanted to get an engaging experience for the pet owners, the breeders, and the dogs. So instead of just making a stand with here's your food, this is the best for your pet because it's really great. No, I did a 300 square meter theme park for dogs and their owners. And they would engage with each other, and they went home with a completely different experience. And they were excited, and they were engaged with the brand. So you can imagine what that meant when they went home. So now wrapping up 2E, we come to 2A. And the first one is authenticity. Guys, you have to keep it real with your brands. I can tell you a little story. A friend of mine, she went on a date. The guy picked her up on a Porsche, and she got super excited. Huh? Then she got out of the car, and she saw a little sticker on the back with a barcode. Now, I'm not sure what it's like in South Africa, but in Europe, that means it's a rental car. So you can imagine this date didn't turn out so well, but the point is not that the guy rented the Porsche. The point was he wasn't being honest about it, because she probably would have felt very special if he had told her he had rented it, right? So coming from a branding experience, I can tell you that I once had a global campaign that was sent to me, and my alarm bells went off, and I was like, okay, this is not going to work for the local market. This is not going to work for the brand. And it was a tobacco product working for Philip Morris, and it was a product about natural tobacco. So how do you communicate that? So I thought about it day and night, and I came up with a very simple message that was just tobacco and water. And that resonated so well that the global campaign team changed it, and it was implemented on a global scale. So you have to be real with your brands in order to deliver to your customers. Because if you're not real, if you're lying to them, they're going to be off in 2 seconds. So now that we've spoken about authenticity, the next A is attractiveness. Now, ladies and gentlemen, when you go on a date, are you going to go in your sneakers and your sweatpants? No, you're going to dress up, you're going to put your makeup on, you're going to put your suits on, you're going to shave, you're going to make sure you look good, right? Similarly, you have to make sure you do that for your brand. So besides being a marketeer, I'm a breeder, and I breed models. What that means is I breed horses, but they're not for sports, they're just for beauty, so that's why we say breed models. And when I market them, I make sure that all the photos and all the materials that go out there always look their best. And this is the same for your brands. You always have to make sure that your brands look their best. And by the way, you should make sure that you always look your best when you represent your brand, right? So I could speak about the Brandalytical formula really all day, and I'm super happy to invite you. Come grab me wherever you are. I'm happy to do some brainstorming with you, see how we can go Brandalytical with you, come up with some new ideas right on the spot. And please, remember the formula. 2P, we spoke about your partner and your passion. We spoke about 2E, experience and excitement. And we spoke about 2A, authenticity and attractiveness. Please make sure you use this formula every single day for your brands in order to make it successful. Because if you treat your brand like the hottest love affair you ever had, you will be successful because your customers will fall in love with your brand and they will follow you. And to finalize, I would just like to say that thank you for this great opportunity to be here. Thank you to JT and the JT Fox organization, because isn't this a super great experience to be here? Have you guys learned something today? Yes, exactly. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.